Yeah. All right, so we back. Another edition of We Need to We Need to Talk. Got all my guys here. Got Los, Cass, Sherwin, Sion. You know, so,
Yo.
so we jump right into it. So start off our good conversation. First off, how's everybody doing? That's where we start.
I'm
I'm
doing
good.
great, man. Chilling.
All right.
And
Now we got
Fighting
okay.
COVID.
about you. So
Bye
we
bye.
On
got
the front lines.
there go Los on the front line.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
we'll start with the debate. First off, what did y'all think about the debate before we dive in and pick it apart?
Well, I
Yeah.
like to say that I want to know where the hell did a fly come from to land on this man's head? That's what I want to know.
The fly was the most famous member of that debate. Soon as he landed on that pile of shit, everybody went crazy, man. It was like,
Outside of what was that, Jeff Goldblum? Outside of the movie The Fly, this is the most famous fly ever.
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 The fly knew, like I put on Facebook and Instagram, the fly know bullshit when they hear and see and smell bullshit, and when it's at the right place.
That
Yeah,
shit
that's,
was
that
perfect
was
timing,
amazing.
man. The
That
way
was
she was
amazing.
looking at him on that split screen, like, bro, you don't see that shit on your head? I almost died, man. But man, she was
Amazing.
getting at him though, man. She was. I felt it was a really good debate, man. And you know what, man? And one thing about Mike Pence, man, I forgot what a polished politician looked like, man. I forgot almost
Yeah,
what a polished politician sounds like. That dude brought it back. I was like like just sitting there stunned, like I forgot y'all talk like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? That dude came to play, man. He really did. He
that,
really
that,
did. But that said aside, she kicked his ass, in my opinion.
yeah. We spent That's because we spent the last 4 years listening to this orange baby talk a whole bunch of stupidness that, like I said, with all the yelling and screaming and talking over people and all that foolishness. I mean, because it was like you said, it was great to see two adults, sit there and debate each other on actual things versus talking about, people's children and all the stupidness that this dude was, 45 was talking about. But
Yeah,
go ahead.
I, I just think I wish. I mean, I enjoy the debates. Um, I just wish that sometimes the moderators or the other individual will actually rebuke or when they reply to the person not responding to the question, to like drill into the person for not responding to the actual question and answering and diverting to something else that has nothing to do with what was asked. They just let them go on and do that and then just move on. But why not question them and hold them to account? Like, wait,
Right.
that's not.
I mean, we got to get some real professional moderators in there because these last two moderators have been just horrendous. And I don't know if it's staged that way or they just don't feel like actually moderating. I mean, on both sides, I don't think some of the questions were answered fully by what the question was. And as a moderator, you would want to say, but Mr. Vice President or Senator Harris, can you answer the question? You know what I'm saying? Like, to
Right.
me, that's just a simple task as a moderator, and I'm not a moderator by any stretch of the imagination, but if I'm moderating something, I ask you a question, I need a direct answer, and I'm sure the people on TV want a direct answer. You know what I'm saying? So it was a bad job on her part, in
I
my
think
opinion.
I think for both of them, I think it's as crazy as it might sound. I think it's a little bit too, and I don't mean it. Well, I'm gonna just say the shit. I think it's just too much respect. Like, I don't want to offend or upset this person. No, if you ask a question, hold your feet to the fire. If I'm asking you about, healthcare, and you up there talking about, you know, you rambling on about something else, you know, packing the court or packing the courts and all this other stuff. We're not talking about that right now. We're talking about, you know, healthcare. I don't want to hear about the judge and all that other stuff. Yeah, we're gonna get to that later because I heard the moderator say that a couple of times. We'll get to that, you know, in a minute. And they still talking about whatever they're talking about because they both dodged a lot of I felt important questions for, you know, whatever reason, because I don't want it to seem like we just bashing Pence. They both dodged big questions
Oh
that
yeah,
they should have answered.
definitely,
No doubt.
definitely. And you know, part of I think what that is too, I think it's strategy because of the shit show that happened the first time with the president and you know Biden. You know, they're kind of like walking on eggshells, not to look, you know, be careful what they answer and how they answer it. You know what I'm saying? So I felt like both of them were just a little being dodged, just, you know, doing the Matrix type thing. Like, oh, okay, I'm going to go off on a tangent on something totally what you didn't ask about. And, you know, hopefully I can just kill the time until this shit is over. You know what I'm saying? So to me, I didn't get too much of anything from the debate, to be honest with you.
Really. Do
Yeah,
y'all
man.
think that one? Do you think that one vice presidential candidate dodged more than the other, or do you think it was like equal?
It
Me
seems equal.
personally, it was equal to me. I mean, you know, I again, like I kept I'll be honest with you, I kept flipping it back and off and on because I was watching because you know, I didn't think that nothing was going to really transpire. You know, as far as like, you know, to me, it's like I don't know. It just wasn't something I was really ready to look at. Even I, you know, I peeped at it, but I, you know, like I said, I think both of them dodged questions. Um, I was really worried about Kamala Harris. I felt like I thought from a Republican strategic point of view that they would try to make her look like the angry black woman
Mhm.
and by interrupting her. You know what I'm saying? And I was concerned about that she was gonna, you know, fall for the bait. But I think she did very well in that regard, like smiling at her. You know, I know one time she said, I think she said something about, you know, excuse me, Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking, or something to that effect. And so, you know, I think she held her own, but I was concerned that, you know, they were going to bait her and try to, you know, get her to act, quote unquote, you know what I'm saying, to try to make her look. And it's from, I mean, I'm not a woman, but I know I was looking at some of the aftermath in regards to how, you know, America looks at not women, but also black women on top of that.
Mhm.
So,
Right.
you know,
Right.
I was,
Honestly, I think the way that she like defended herself and the way that she carried herself, um, uh, she won me over. You know what I mean? With that alone, I wasn't 100% sure about Kamala Harris before this debate at all. You know, and I wasn't comfortable just voting, you know, for that ticket just because, you know. But I think that the way that she carried herself, at least, you know, showed a stark difference between, you know, Trump and Mike Pence. I mean,
Yeah,
she earned my respect in a big way last night just by standing her ground and holding her own, and also when she was attacked, she didn't allow the moderator to move on
Mhm.
the same way that Pence didn't allow the moderator to move on. And she said at one point, "I want equal time
Yeah.
as what he got. He went over.
mhm.
I'm gonna let you know
yeah.
right now. I'm going over."
Nah,
And
he interrupted her for a
yeah,
long time and said
He
something.
interrupted.
That's
Right. He interrupted, and he went over and during his interruption. So she told the moderator, she said, "Look, if
oh,
he's
let
not
me
going to
talk.
adhere to the rules, I'm not going to adhere to the rules right now, and
Mhm.
I'm going to rebut what he just said." And I was like, "Wow, okay."
And like I said,
I mean, I don't.
that's the good part about what she did, the way she did it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think the Republicans and, you know, Trump and just everything that thought she was going to just, you know, wild out or just get real rude. She handled herself with class and dignity as a stateswoman, as a senator, and as the vice president nominee. She did a great job.
No.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I kind of, I sort of expected don't know. I guess I expect that from her though. Like she's been in office in different public offices for a long time. So, you know, I don't expect her to respond in a negative way or argumentative, especially, you know, exactly what you said, my man. Like you said that their last shit show, they were going to respond differently. So I really expected for her to get up there and be sort of show strength or this, that, or however you want to call it. I think that them talking or Pence talking over her is sort of just how they see women, and they just see women as second fiddle, and that you're supposed to speak when spoken to, sort of.
Yeah.
And you know, she's supposed to respond that way. Like, no, I'm not gonna allow you to talk over me or not give me the same amount of time. We're gonna do things in an equal way because that's just what's supposed to happen. I mean, first off, it's a debate. So, I mean, that's before we get into the fact that that she's a woman and he's a man. It's a debate, and it's moderated as you have this much time and I have this much time. So if you get 2 minutes and 30 seconds, then I'm gonna get 2 minutes and 30 seconds. That's just the nature of how it's supposed to be. And then second to that would be the fact that you're not gonna speak to myself or talk over the moderator the way that you're trying to do because they're both women. So it's honestly, I find it amazing how many women like vote for Trump and Republicans because like they always talk about they want to be seen as equal, but they don't see you as equal. So it's
and I'm glad you brought that up because that's one thing I was talking about, and I was I think I was talking to my wife or I was talking to somebody on Facebook or something. But that's what I was telling people. I said, you know, because I saw a lot of comments from women, you know, saying that, oh, you know, she was rude, she was this, and that. And I'm like, why is she rude? Is she rude because she stood up for herself? I said, it's just a lot of weak ass men out here that can't handle a woman, you know, being strong and defending herself. Because like you said, was she supposed to just sit back when he went over? He had 2 minutes and 30 seconds. He ended up with 250. Was she just supposed to say, okay, I'm just going to take 2 minutes and respond? No, she demanded her time. She demanded her respect and everything. And I think what she did also sort of defended the moderator because the moderator was still, please, Mr. Vice President. No, at that point is no more please. It's just, look, your time is up. Let's go. Let's let her talk.
Body was saying she was rude. I didn't think she was rude at all. Like, because
I think it was perfect.
Because he was cutting her more. I mean, she was, of course, she gonna cut and butt in because he doing it. But you know, I mean, she wasn't like trying to come at him crazy. To me, I don't know.
I just think it's like small-minded people, men and women, that just, you know, like you said, you got the women that vote for 45 and Pence, and it's just they're used to hearing stay in your place, and now you got a woman, black, white, it doesn't matter. You got a woman that's not, you know, falling for that bullshit and just gonna stay in their place. You know, if we're equal footing, you know, you're the vice president, I'm running for the same position. It's not like, you know, she's running for secretary or something and she's talking to the vice president. Y'all on equal ground. So the respect should go both ways. But I don't see why people say she was rude. Then it's a meme or something that somebody put together where they had all of the different faces that she made throughout the debate. I said, if you're gonna get somebody gonna get hemmed up or get looked at funny for the faces that they make, I said, shit, half of us would be in trouble all the time. Because I know I might bite my tongue, but I know my face will give me away every time. So,
well, you know, the funniest.
Are they really talking about her faces with everything that the other dude that 45 did in the previous debate? They're gonna talk about her faces.
I'm gonna send you a picture. I'm gonna send
you.
No,
I'm not. I don't. I'm just saying, like, really, that's what y'all talking. That's what people are really focusing on. Really.
The funniest meme I saw was the next moderator should have been Medea. That joint was funny. Can you
Medea,
imagine Medea being the
Medea or
moderator?
Samuel L. Jackson, one of the two.
Yeah, that I think Kaz bring up a good point and a nice segue, a nice introduction because he was saying you don't understand how women can go for that. Like it's crazy. I was having the same discussion with my wife right after the debate and during the debate when they were talking about repealing Roe versus Wade
Mm-hmm.
and like literally talking about taking away rights for women, literally. And they just turn a blind eye as if that's cool. Like, if you don't agree with that, that is a huge, huge subject. But you have women who would still vote Republican because that's who they are affiliated with. But they're talking about taking away your right to your own body. Like that to me is insane. It's
They
it's
don't.
I don't
They
understand.
they used to. That part I never understood. It's just like how you gonna allow somebody to tell you what to do with your body because you got, like I said, it's not even using it the wrong or right. If so a woman's been raped or something, you're gonna tell her that she has to keep this child that came from a traumatic situation. So now every time she wake up, she go change the child and all this other stuff. She got to be reminded of that, of that violent act. And then, like I said, then you got to think about, talking about abortion. You got to think about her, her mental capacity, because now you're forcing her to keep this child. And then who's to say she's not going to harm the child? Because she might want to do anything to get that, take that trauma away. And that might be her out for her as harming that child.
Really do.
Yeah, man, it's a touchy subject. It's funny because in my building at my job, I have an abortion clinic. I'm on the 3rd floor. I have an abortion clinic on the 4th floor. These protesters, man, they come out and they real crazy, bro. They literally spray painted. They literally spray painted in front of my building, where I work at. A killer is here and had an arrow pointing to our building.
Yeah.
I'm to them like, these motherfuckers is crazy. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah, that's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. I just, it doesn't, for me, it doesn't matter what side, you fall on in that regard. But you have women who would allow for things like this to go on knowing damn well they don't believe in that and will still vote for this dude or still vote against what they believe in just because.
Yeah, I don't even understand. Like being affiliated to a party and voting strictly on party lines to me that's one of the that's one of the shallowest things that I really don't understand how people do that. Like I don't understand how you just vote because someone's a Republican or a Democrat. I don't even understand how you accept the fact that they have two parties like that oppose each other at the expense of you. Like that really Bible. It just I don't know. I really don't understand it.
I can only speak on my part because I've grown up a Democrat. I've voted democratically throughout my life. And the only thing I can say, as I've gotten older, I try to align some of those views and laws that I see that are platform on to my life and my children's life or my family's life or the future taxes, certain things. But there are things that I don't agree with about the Democratic Party. The tax issue is a big thing with me. Like I pay a shitload of taxes because I make money, a certain amount of money. But as a long, and I don't even. That's a great point that you made. I sometimes ask myself, like, why am I voting? Am I just because I'm doing it because I'm a Democrat? And I sometimes, you know what I'm saying? I'll be like, I'll be like confused sometimes. It wasn't with Obama, but it was probably prior to Obama. I think with Bush and Gore. And it was some things that I was sitting there like, debating. I was juggling like, okay, I believe in this, what they say, but then I believe in here. And then I was sitting there, well, I am a Democrat. So should I just, you know what I mean? So I understand your point. And it's confusing, man, as you get older and tough.
But
Well,
I got one real quick one. I called my wife down here. I don't think she's gonna get on camera, but I'm gonna ask her. So when it comes to the was it Roe v. versus Wade or whatever?
Yeah, Roe versus Wade.
Yeah, okay, I was right.
Roe v. Wade.
But how do you feel, or what's your opinion on the women that still vote for 45 and the rest of the clowns that want to repeal that?
Well, this is a discussion that I actually had today with Melissa. We were saying that a lot of the women that are voting for them, even if it's wealthy Euro American women, okay, even if it's wealthy Euro American women, they have the money to disguise or hide the fact that they are getting abortions so that they can put their career first. And you have poorer women that cannot do that. And then you have women who have experienced trauma with pregnancy. You also have women who just basically cannot afford children and don't want to bring children into the world. Now, as a Christian woman, I do feel a certain type of way about abortions, but also as a Christian woman, I feel a certain type of way about judgment. Okay, it's you and your circumstances, and like I said, if you're not going to try to aid these women in the right way, you know, you have people that adopt Black children. Okay, we feel good because we're adopting Black children, so you can go ahead and have these babies, or you have women who are saying, you know, why are you being selfish? You know, why are you putting yourself first? And it's all about your life and the circumstances at the specific time. So I'm not for it or against it. That's basically my opinion. But I don't judge people who are for it, and I don't judge people who are against it. But for people like 45, that's all about control. It's not about your circumstances or what you want to do, or being Christian or being any type of religion. That's about control. They want to control people. They want to manipulate people. They want to control their minds, and they want to dictate what they are doing. And that is what I am against.
Good job, Tawana. Now put yourself on camera.
Right.
No, let
The
me go
thing
back
is,
and
like,
do my homework.
that's
No,
As a woman, I have a career that I need to continue, so I have to go and do my homework.
Stop using that damn. I can't wait till she out of school. She can't use homework no more. No more. I'm like, yeah. Say that one more. Huh? What you gotta do? What? I can't wait.
No, but I mean, I think the whole, I don't know. I don't think it. And Cass, I'm gonna let you get back. And I know you were about to say something before she came down here, but I'll just say, for me, it's not a judgment thing. I think it should be free choice. You know what I mean? If you decide to if you decide to have an abortion, I'm all for the person choosing, because if something, depending on what their circumstances are. I'm not talking about, the women that, the fourth, fifth, or sixth abortion, because you do have some women that treat abortions like it's contraceptives. But, if there's a reason behind it, I'm all for it. But I don't think that, a man should be telling a woman period, what to do with her body, especially dealing with something like that.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I just want to speak back to what you were saying, boss, and I just wanted to say that, like, if someone votes a certain way because they just decide to do that, then that's one thing. I just think that affiliating yourself one way and just doing it just because is sort of different. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But as far as the abortion thing, I mean, I'm a guy. I mean, I'm not gonna have an abortion, but if you want to, then that's. I mean, I have no right to tell you that you can't do whatever you want to do with your body. I mean, that is
The funny thing is,
you're not gonna tell me what medicine I can't take or I can take. Like I don't want no other, like my spouse being like, you're not gonna do that. Like if that's what I want to do, or like in any situation, I'm like that's my body. Like you can't tell me I can't do whatever I want to do. So
Yeah.
I think that's the consensus of the country, but they act as if it's not. But because it's along party lines, it's an issue.
Yeah.
That's just the bottom line right there. And to speak as to what Kawana was saying, if you have, like, I have Christian values to my core, and I believe if God gave us the right to choose in every situation, then man shouldn't step in on that either. If God says, hey, you have the right to make your own choices, then who is the government or man to say that a woman can't make a decision for herself? If God let her make that decision, and when it's all said and done, that's between her and God. I don't got nothing to do with me or how I feel.
Sherman, you bring up a great thing when you say God, because it's so amazing how, quote unquote, these I'll just say these white Christians, the white folks who call themselves Christians, are so selective with what they remember from the Bible. Because really, at the end of the day, to be honest with you, His word says a sin is a sin is a sin is a sin is a sin.
Exactly.
And you can't be boastful regarding your sin versus his sin. That's a man thing. That's what we do, is we levelize sin. But for
Right.
God, a sin is a sin is a sin. If he says, if you rebuke and turn 180 degrees and go the other way, then he forgives you, correct? So what you're doing, if you're gonna go by that Christianity and that thought process, you gotta go by it fully. You can't pick and choose what you're gonna use and what you're not gonna use. You gotta use the entire Bible. So I mean, it's just funny to me how they do that.
I just think that the politicians they're all, both sides. I'm not saying Democrat, Republican, on both sides, but I think especially when it comes to religion, I think they're full of shit because they like to, like you say, use it when it's convenient.
Yes.
I want, because Pence, oh, my faith this, my faith that. Okay, but you don't bring up your faith when when they were asking you about, young black men and women being killed and all that other stuff. You don't bring up your faith then. But then when they're talking about abortion, then you want to bring up your faith and all this other stuff. It's just like, okay, you can't be Christian, Catholic, whatever your religion is. You can't do that 50% of the time or pick and choose when it's okay for you to use it. And that's the game that I think they play that, that's just, I don't know. I think it's just sickening that they do it that way. Because like I said, I believe what I believe. I believe in the high power, believe in God. I believe all of that stuff. But I'm not going to pick and choose and say, all right, I choose this commandment. I choose this saying out of the Bible, but I'm not going to follow these other ones. And that's what they do.
You want to know what's so backwards about all of that too? Is in the same breath and in the same debate, Mike Pence was talking about killing people during war or people who they feel are enemies of America. All of these Soleimani and all these, he named them by name.
Eddie and all of them, yeah.
All these men that they have killed during war. So who's to say that on their side we're wrong? They believe that we're the enemy. We're over there killing folks left and right. But that's okay. But that's okay. God is going to see that as perfectly fine that you're dropping bombs and flying drones over these folks because they're Muslim and they don't share the same beliefs as you. But because a woman wants the right to choose what she wants to do with her body, that's murder. But what you're doing in the White House and the Oval Office and in the Situation Room pushing buttons is not. And you said that in the same debate. Really? That's super hypocritical. God gonna judge you the same way, bro. God gonna come, he gonna talk to you about that the same way.
It's like Ringo said, it's for their convenience when they want to feel some kind of way. You know what I'm saying? It's their convenience, wherever they're, whatever point they want to make, and they're hypocritical. There are a lot of hypocrites. Politicians in general just are naturally hypocrites. They want you because they want you to vote for them, knowing damn well, they don't really believe in what the hell they're saying.
Like I said, all you gotta do is look at 45 holding the Bible upside down and all that foolishness. I just,
right.
thank you, moderator in the background.
Right. Lord.
I'm just waiting for the time that I get to be part of the conversation. Me and Kawana spoke about this.
I'm about to cut off her mic.
Yes, please do the right thing, moderator. Cut her mic off.
I'm not understanding.
Thank God she didn't hear Kawana's whole speech.
Kawana was here.
Yes, Kawana was here.
Kawana came down and gave her dissertation, and you missed it.
The moderator allowed her 2 minutes and 15 seconds. That's it.
Well, why I didn't get my 2 minutes and 15 seconds?
Because you interrupted like Pence, and you ain't your go.
All right. We're about to talk football. You ready?
That'll end in 1 second.
No, well, see, there you go. Your time's up.
See, there y'all go. See, now I'm gonna have to get my composure. So I don't be the angry black woman.
Okay, we'll give you your 2 minutes. I'll ask you the same question I asked Kawana.
Mrs. Vice President.
Well, you are. You hiding.
What he said?
It's your turn. He gonna ask you a question.
Oh, okay, what question are we asking?
How do you feel about the women? How do you feel about the women that are supporting, these people in the White House now, 45 and other people, as far as the abortion conversation goes?
Well, you mean
about repealing Roe versus Wade?
The ones who support the repealing Roe versus Wade?
No, they don't support Roe versus Wade. They don't support the repealing of Roe versus Wade, but they will still vote Republican because they're voting along party lines. How do you feel about that?
I mean, I think that I don't expect anything different because they voted for Trump the first time, regardless of Roe versus Wade. He said some disgusting things about women. He's always shown that he has no respect for women, and they still voted for him. And it's mostly the white women population that votes for Trump. But I tend to think it's usually they're voting for who their spouses vote for. Not necessarily, not saying that all women, especially white women, don't have a mind of their own, but when they did a lot of polls the first time of why would women vote for him after he said all these things, one of the things that came back was the fact that they voted for who their spouse voted for. So it tends to maybe a reflection of whoever their significant other chooses to put their trust in is who they tend to, regardless of their character flaws.
All right. Time's up, Mrs.
But, I can't wait to have
Excuse me, Mrs. Vice President. Mrs. Vice President.
On
Excuse me, Mrs. Vice President.
Domestic violence, which is very much increasing since COVID, and thoughts on
Mrs. Vice President, you're off subject, Mrs. Vice President.
Reform, because
Mrs. Vice President, you're off subject, Mrs. Vice President.
Well, I'm just saying, I think judicial reform would be a great conversation. I think the bail system, because, a few states have completely.
We're going to set aside a whole day just for y'all to come on. Because
we should have a couples joint.
We would never get to
do that
talk.
Next week.
We would never get to talk.
Ever.
Well, I'm just saying, sometimes we need to listen.
No, we'll definitely set one up. Y'all gotta be ready to come on and
Where's my girl?
She left. She had a 2 minutes.
She's doing homework.
Like
Oh, I just
excuse me, Miss Vice President. Miss Vice President.
The time is up, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you.
Can we go get Twizzlers?
I'm on the phone. Excuse me, Miss Vice President.
This is one thing I bring up, and I was talking to Sherwin about this. I think it was last night. We were texting and talking about it. there's one issue, and I picked up on. I was actually really paying attention to this debate, and there's one problem that I had with Kamala. And y'all tell me if y'all had the same issue. Is when they were talking about George Floyd. Now maybe this is me nitpicking, but I had a problem with her referring to him as, the man that got killed. We all watched this man get killed. And I'm like, cool. She referred to him as a man, but I'm like, for all of the nonsense that 45 and all the people in his cabinet, talk, and all the racist crap that they say, why didn't she take that opportunity to refer to him as a black man versus her just saying, we watched this man, get killed, for 8 minutes and 49 seconds, I think she said. That just stuck out to me as I'm like, well, why didn't she say, a black man versus just saying a man? Is that just me nitpicking, or did?
I mean, I don't know, bro. I mean, she could have emphasized, I think she would have made a bigger point, a more poignant point if she had said a black man instead of a man. But that was one of her opportunities that she probably missed out on, to emphasize that it's not just a man, that is a black man. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it was a lapse in judgment. I think she slipped.
Yeah.
I just think because she was being very passionate about it.
Yeah.
She was being very passionate about it, and I think it was a segue leading from when she was speaking on Breonna Taylor.
Right.
And I think she was very passionate about it, and yeah, she should have said, black man. She should have emphasized it for sure. And I think her looking back on it, she probably regrets it.
Yep.
Because she had an opportunity to really, dig in on him, because Mike Pence really didn't. Mike Pence, even when it came to Breonna Taylor, he was saying that, his condolences really he was given, but he said, nothing towards, the absence of any type of, action being brought against the police officers. He went right to the rioting and the looting and how offensive that was in the same context. If you have any type of empathy at all when they ask you a direct question about Breonna Taylor, you would not have brought up anything about rioting in the first place.
They all about law and order and about police. They could care. Honestly, they could really, and they trying to do it. They trying to be slick about it, and not. They don't give a shit. They don't give a shit. Honestly, and you can tell by every time they bring up the subject how we want law and order. We're not going to disrespect our police for all this. You know what I'm saying? Like they really don't care.
They want us to stay in our place. And if we get out of our place, they want to put us back in our place by force, just like it was back in the day. That's really what they just speaking to, is the white audience who don't like the quote-unquote BLM. And I don't want to get into all of the different aspects of the BLM and all of that different stuff, but like they don't want anything to do with black folks being in power or any of that other stuff like that.
You're right, yo.
Anything that has anything to do with that, they're against that. And the whole law and order is I agree with what you're saying. And it's also just a call for their people who are against our people. Really is what they're just doing, in my opinion.
They're full of crap. I think they're treating the whole law and order talk just the same way as same way that they do religion. Because if they're all for law and order, 45 should be in jail by now.
Oh my God!
if you want to talk, if you want to be real about it, you can't say you all for law and order and their law should be respected, blah blah blah. But then you got this dude running around, grabbing chicks grabbing women by the vagina, and saying the pervert stuff about his daughter, and then hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein. There's so many things that if they want to talk law and order, like I said, he should be in jail right now if they want to keep it real and follow, the whole law and order thing as they say. But like I said, I think they use it the same way they use religion. They use it when it's convenient for them.
Yeah.
They forgot about the order part. That's the problem. They forgot about the order. Like they swear like the opposition is totally against laws, what I mean, and order. Like we want this country to be chaotic. Like we want riots in the street. We wouldn't be in the streets rioting if the police officers would just do what's right. And then if they don't do what's right, all we want is for them to be brought to justice. We're not begging for much. We're not asking for much. We're just asking for you to get your foot off of our neck. That's it. Get your foot off our neck. That's all we asking for. And then there'll be perfect law and there'll be perfect order. They act as if black people just want senseless killings going on in the street. They act as if we're down with even our own people act as if we're down with black on black crime. Like ain't nobody cool with that. Ain't nobody want any type of disorderly conduct going on in their neighborhood when they paying taxes. I don't want people marching up and down my street, rioting and looting and killing and shooting. But as long as you got your foot on our necks, that's what's going to happen. But they can't see that. There's no empathy for
that. They don't believe in empathy. If it doesn't look like what what they want, or if it doesn't look like them, then I don't think they really give a shit. It's just they're okay with this and they're okay with that. No, we're not okay with anything. I don't, like you said, I don't want the riot. I don't want anybody to die. I don't want, as far as the rioting and looting and all that go, because I'm like, you think about it, you rioting and looting in your own neighborhood, and I know we're not going into that whole conversation, but you're rioting and looting, you tearing up everything in the neighborhood. So now, instead of me being able to go around the corner or go up the street, now I got to go an extra mile or so to get the, whatever it is, or whatever the case may be. And they think that, that we're all in support of it. No, it's just like, we're not all in support of, I don't think all of the police should be gone. You have some people that believe that. No, I need the cops. I want the cops. I need to know that if I call them, their ass is going to show up. I don't get their whole, their whole mind frame as far as that nonsense goes.
So you don't understand the defund the police? You're not in favor of defunding the police?
No. He's just saying he wants police to be there, but he just wants them to come there appropriately and be there for what they're supposed to be there for, not coming to kill somebody.
Right. Okay.
Oh yeah.
What's going on? If there's a robbery in progress, by all means, call the police.
I need you here. I don't need you nowhere else. If I call you saying some X, Y, and Z, breaking in my car, my house, whatever, I just need you to show up and do your job.
Yeah, don't come to kill me. Don't come and question me and put me through.
Because no matter
there's a domestic dispute, I don't want the police showing up to my house with guns.
Nope. You come hear it out. If you're gonna charge us both. But I don't need one person going out on a stretcher or in a body bag because you assumed X, Y, and Z. Give me the same respect that you're gonna give, so and so up in Beverly Hills or in the Hamptons and all that. Just give me that same respect.
I got a quick question in regards to the debate
they
too.
shouldn't even have the police come in that. The police come in that situation. A counselor needs to come also. Somebody else needs to come beside the police. And I think that's what defunding the police is really about. Is just ensuring that the proper professional shows up. That's all.
Exactly. Now, and along those lines too, I got a quick question about the debate. Do you guys believe Kamala Harris when she was talking about police reform and criminal justice reform? Do you think that she was sincere in that regard? Being
based on her history?
Based on her history and based on
her background. Based off her history, hell no.
No.
As a former Los Angeles prosecutor?
No.
I think Mike Pence dropped the ball on that one.
Yeah.
He had a real opportunity to go after her record, and he really.
He brought it. Then I think he brought it. I think he brought it up one time, but I don't think he spent I don't think he spent enough time trying to
But
call her out on it.
that's the thing. Both of them missed great points to go after the other in a debate. Like, I feel like they didn't do their homework, or they just were kind of like a little hesitant to harp on those certain topics. You know what I'm saying? Like, they left a lot on the floor. You know what I'm saying? To me,
I
thought so.
I think Pence spent because 45 put out a tweet. I want to say last night or sometime today, calling Kamala a monster, and I'm like, that's how I think that Pence came into the debate. Like, all right, she's going to come in, but I think she held herself together so well. Like Kat said, she's been in politics or in some high office for years, so she knows the game. But I think they came in like, all right, if we say this is going to send her over the edge, and we're going to get that angry.
Yeah,
and she didn't fall for it.
Right, and that's what she didn't fall for it, right. And the reason, and another reason why I was worried too is because of what happened in the first debate, because I was sitting there like, oh shit, you never expect anything that we saw in the first debate. So it's like, okay, who knows what Pence is going to do, what's going to come out his mouth by by the people who probably, was working with Pence on the debate, but like, okay, we'll go after him on this and say, he was already rude and disruptive and talking when it wasn't and talking over his time. So I was a little worried. I'm just glad she handled herself like a classy lady like she is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't think that. I'm wondering, honestly, like, what's the purpose of the debates, quite honestly, other than to bash each other or for them to bash people? Mostly the Republicans bashing the Democrats, because 45 bashing whomever. Because really, at the end of the day, how many people are on the fence? Like, I don't even know that this election has people on the fence. People, this is sort of not a. This is sort of like, if you're a 45 supporter, you can't say that. Honestly, just for me, I'm sorry, and I might be narrow-minded in this, but you have some sense of, you have to have some sense of disregard for us as a people. Like, I just don't understand, honestly. Because I won't even just say us, but just minorities or people who aren't of the elite class.
The 1%.
Because they don't care about anybody but them. Mm-hmm. Really, white or black. And, more black because we black, but also white folks. They don't care about poor and middle class white people. And really, if you ain't making millions and millions, they don't care about your ass enough either. You could be hundreds of thousands making 200, 300, 400. They don't care about you. They really don't.
But they're small. And I hate to say this, I don't want to make it seem like I'm picking on anybody, but I think they're small-minded in that way because, like you said, it's the 1%, and then there's everybody else. They're the 1% because they really have, like, these people that have these coal mining jobs and those type of jobs really believe in that they're going to bring back those coal mining jobs, or that they actually care about them. Like you said, black, white, Asian, it does not matter. If you're not in that 1%, they don't give a shit about you.
They told you that, though.
And that's what they fail to realize. They're looking at it like, oh, and this is just my perspective. And they're just looking at it like, oh, we're the same color. He's looking out for me. No, he's looking at money. He's looking at the 1%. He's looking at the elite. He's not looking at your skin color and all of that. He's looking at your wallet, your bank account, whatever the case may be. That's what he's looking at. He's not looking at you saying, oh, you know what? There's 100 white guys that lost their job in that coal mine. I'm going to look out for them. No, He's looking out for Jerry Jones. He's looking out for Dan Snyder. He's looking out for,
Right.
you know, the tech firm people, the Facebook guy, Zuckerberg. Those are people that he's looking out for. He's not looking out for, for us.
Yeah, the
$100,000
middle
less.
America wealthy.
Yeah. He's not looking out for us. He's looking out for that 1%.
I think that's the most
That's
baffling thing for me in 2020. It's like I can't believe like at this age I'm still like coming to realizations about white people. Like for real, like they just don't have an understanding of what our plights are. Like they really just don't. Like they really don't have a clue as to why we have issues. And now
we just complaining and shit.
Yeah, they thought we were just complaining for years, and I was just thinking like, oh, they just don't care. But a lot of them just are ignorant to the fact, and they just don't know. And they're like, that's just baffling.
They're
to
not
me.
educated.
They don't want to know. That's the thing. They don't want to know. They prefer to be, what's the bird? The ostrich, keep their head in the sand. Because because all they got to do, all of this stuff that we talk and complain about, they can Google it. It's not like they're Googling the Loch Ness monster, and you got to worry about what's garbage, what's real news, what's fake news. No, if there's 100 cases, let's just say, if there's 100 cases of young Black and Hispanic men, male and females being killed, that's easy to Google, but they choose to, like I said, keep their head in the sand and go, nah, they must have done something. Well, if Breonna Taylor, killing isn't enough to show them that we don't have to be doing anything, I don't know what's going to change their mind at this point. It's just them being ignorant and, like I said, acting like, nah, that's really not happening. I just think it's just plain ignorance on those that don't understand what's going on with us.
For Mike Pence to sit up there and say that there's no systematic racism in this country on a live debate nationally, for him to sit up there and actually say that is just like completely baffling to me.
He should have lost right there.
It's like you have to, though, because imagine for those white folks, that challenges what you've always been told and what you've always been taught. So if you start having to challenge and you start questioning what you've always been taught, in many ways, so just think about you personally. If someone lies to you and you find out that they've been lying to you for a long time, you start to question other things. It's just a natural thing that we do as people. So if white folks really started to question what they've been told about Black folks all this time and what they've been taught and what's been ingrained in them, if Pence and all of them start acknowledging that, like really that challenges everything that you know.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like, that would be hard to take and hard to fathom, like in your brain. It's like, I've been lied to throughout school, my parents, my grandparents. Like all of these people have maybe subconsciously, but they've all lied to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
well, the one thing that I feel that probably. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, brother. Right, go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good.
I was going to say the craziest thing that I feel about the whole thing is the kids, man. Those white people kids grow up and be like, oh, this is what it is. This is what I grew up. This is what my parents told me. This is what I learned. You know what I'm saying? They're going to see this shit and they're going to grow up and they're going to believe it and they're going to live it. And that's the scariest part, bruh. When I leave this earth, I got 2 kids to leave behind, and my grandkids one day, hopefully, are going to actually live through the shit that these little white kids I've learned from today. And that's scary.
But look at Charles. Look at Charlottesville. That was a whole bunch of college kids and shit. You know what I mean? Like, that's college kids. People supposed to be educated or at least somewhat smart. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And they got
But,
they got the they torture they wiki tortures and all. These young people that's like that. You know what I mean?
but we all know some of the dumbest people we know are educated people. So,
Yeah, definitely.
but I was
But I mean,
just
that just goes to show you that shit ain't never gonna die, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, why you angry at black people for? What we ever did to you? You in Charlottesville, Virginia, my G. Like, how much black people you seen on a daily basis that you so angry at us for? You know what I mean? Like, come on.
But
You know what I'm saying?
I think what they should do,
That's a good
and I think what they should do, and I'm saying this sarcastically, and I mean it, the same way they have the ride along programs with the police. That's what they should do. Bring some of the white kids to the black areas,
Hell
and
no.
just have them and just
Many
do
did it.
sort of like a ride along. Have the white kids hang out with some
The
black
white boy
kids
Benny
or with
was
some
my
black
friend.
families, just to, and vice versa. I don't want it's because you do have some black folks out there that just go, oh no, all white people are evil. It's not true.
Nah, not true.
Yeah.
You know
So
what I
you
mean?
should have said instead of a white
I had a
squad,
big-
you would have had a
I
kid
had a
squad.
big argument about that the other day.
They should do that. Have some sort of program just to, and I think it would. I believe that shit would go a long way because it'll introduce kids from inner cities and from the suburbs. It'll just show them that, because like I said, you always see these little kids when you think about preschool, kindergarten, all that type stuff. Them kids don't know nothing. They see their black friend, they gonna run up and hug their black friend and all this,
Absolutely.
all that good stuff. And then when they get older is when all the brainwashing and all that stupidness comes into play and make them really believe that, white people are bad or black people aren't good. That's where all that foolishness is at.
And that's the parents though. The parents learn it, and then the parents be like, "Oh, you can't play with him no more," or "He don't live on the right side. He don't live in the same area we do, so you can't be his friend." Shit like that, just it's scary. You know what I'm saying? It's scary for me. Like and I try to tell my kids that everybody. You choose and pick who your friends are. And both my kids are like introverts, which is crazy because I'm not. But they stick to themselves. But I tell them, like, you pick and choose who your friends are, but pick and choose wisely.
Yeah.
You want to go?
I'll tell anybody. I think one of the best experiences I ever had was living in Arizona, because like until I moved to Arizona, I could outside of some of my teachers, I really couldn't say that I knew a whole lot of white people or had any white friends until I lived in Arizona. So that was eye-opening for me, just to say, you know what, some of them are cool.
I don't know, man. Arizona was one of the most racist places I've been to in a while.
And that was in the
Really?
90s. This was
Yes.
this was when I was in high school, 95, 96. 95, 96 is when I was in Arizona. And I'm not saying it was perfect now. Don't get me wrong. I had a white kid called me the N-word and then ran from me because he knew if I would have called him back then, there's gonna be some trouble in that hallway.
What part of Arizona?
Phoenix.
I lived in Mesa. Me and Earl lived in Mesa.
Oh, okay.
We talking to Jamil. Yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah,
Like
like I
one
said,
of the
back
most racist places I've been. It was so bad. I think I called you, Jamil. Didn't I call you when I was out there?
Yeah, you called me.
I was so upset, bro.
You was in Phoenix?
In Phoenix. Yep.
Phoenix, and the crazy thing is Phoenix is quote unquote the black area in Arizona.
That's crazy to me. And for them to be where they sit, it was just like extra baffling. It's almost like, it's like the south of the West Coast.
Mm-hmm.
It was horrible. I was like, oh, okay.
But yeah. It was a learning experience because, like I said, outside of some of my teachers and stuff, back then I couldn't name a white friend or white person that I could say I knew, hung out with, or anything like that. But Arizona, like I said, it just showed me that, there was good and bad people on both sides, because there was a lot of black kids in the school that with that self-hate, you couldn't tell them they were black.
Yeah, Carlos bring up a really good point too just now, man. Like when it comes to the youth in this country right now and young children, like this is the only America they know.
Yeah.
This is the only
Yeah.
Trump 45. Some of them. This is the only America they know. Like that is like completely disheartening. Like they grow up with a president like this, and if he gets another 4 years,
It's just drilling
and
into him more. Just
right, think about a child who was 10 years old when 45 first became president. If he gets another 4 years, they will live their whole adolescence knowing this as America.
this racist bullshit. That I mean, and that's why he, something that Cass Orlo said earlier, and that's why he stays on, he stays on that dog whistle. He's not gonna let up. He would rather turn blue in the face rather than to back off blowing that dog whistle. He wants to, he wants the insight. He wants to keep this going. He wants to keep this fear going. He wants to keep this division going. And instead of, because
he's gonna
go ahead.
I say he's gonna do it all the way till he gets on that goddamn helicopter and his motherfucking ass is left the White House. He's gonna do it. I promise. He's gonna do it. And I fellas, listen. I can only ponder the thought that this man wins another 4 years. There is no way in hell that this man can win another 4 years. And if this man wins another 4 years, there's really something wrong with this country. Really. I'm serious, bro. After all the shit that we've been through the first 4 years, how in the hell can anybody vote? Even the people who support him have to sit there and be like, I can't go through another 4 years of this bullshit.
That's wishful thinking on our part. I think that people think that way.
Right. But hey, fellas. Hey, I'm sorry, fellas.
I know you gotta tap out. I appreciate you. I know you gotta get up at the crack of dawn. I appreciate you jumping on tonight, though.
For sure, man. It was good seeing you, fellas, man. All y'all stay up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Until next time. Stay safe.
Indeed.
All right, fam.
All right, fam.
All right, later, man. Yo, be easy.
Sure. Likewise.
Yeah, but that's really the scary part. Is like I said, is there's a chance, and I think a good chance that this dude could win another 4 years, and then like you were saying,
I don't see it.
I hope not. I pray that he doesn't. But then, like I said, then like you said, the scary part that I honestly didn't think about until you just said it is, you got some kids that's all they're going to know is the hate that he spews and that he constantly puts out there. And like I said, that's sad to think that, my 8-year-old, by the time, I hope he doesn't, but if he gets another 4 years, by the time my son is 13, he would have heard this racist nonsense for 8 years out of his life.
Yeah. Think about it. As far as we're concerned, like if you guys like pretty much, I'm not sure how old you are, Louis, but I know my brother and my cousin is pretty much in my peer group. And you think about the Clinton years, we lived pretty good during the Clinton years, and that was our adolescence. Mm-hmm. Like you think about, imagine going through this right now during all that time. It'd be like we'd be messed up. We'd be messed up for real.
A lot of therapy sessions.
Yeah,
man. I just can't see. Even, I mean, I don't know. I'd be ready to leave the fucking country for real, bro.
Nah, that'd be the worst case scenario. Because there'll be no holes. There'll be no holes on this dude. There'll be no holes barred. Like he's gonna run amok. Talk about stacking the courts. He'll stack the courts for as long as I live. There'll be Supreme Court justices in place until I die.
Yeah, my numbers might be off, but I could swear last night they said that I think he put upwards 150 judges in place in the appeals court, something like that. And my numbers are off.
Yeah, in the justice system, because they have a lot of vacancies.
Yeah, and the appellate division.
As far as like judges and appeals court judges and like shit like that.
Appellate.
Yeah.
Appellate court. But there's appellate court, then there's one like below them too. Before you know what I mean? It's like you appeal to the appellate, but I think it's somebody above them. Matter of fact, my bad. It's like district courts or whatever.
Yeah,
Then
that's
there's the Supreme
dangerous
Court.
too.
It's
That's
like
dangerous in
eight
the
district
appellate
courts. It's
division
like
because
eight
after the
district courts in the
appellate
United
division,
States.
that's it.
Yeah. Once you lose that
Shit
last
else.
appeal, that's it.
That's
No
it.
more icy. No more icy
Yeah.
that time.
Pretty much.
Once you lose in your appeal, there's nothing left for you. And not one of them is black. Not one. That was a
Right.
major point she made. She dug him on
Nah,
that
but-
one. He didn't even say shit else after that.
And
Oh yeah.
the
You
sad
can't.
part, the sad and the scary part is just like, so even once you get in there, even if they, let's say they play in the game to get in that position, you in there for life. So even if you just playing the game to get in that position, once you get in there, then you're allowed to think freely. You don't still have to
No lesson.
continue to agree
It's
with
that time.
everything that that he's doing or that his cabinet is doing. And that's the sad part. They continue to hold him up. He can't. What are you gonna do at that point? He can't. He can't vote you out.
He went forever. He went forever if that's the case. You know what I mean? You think about like Justice Clarence Thomas. Like Clarence Thomas. I remember when they was beefing over putting Clarence Thomas in. That dude is still in the Supreme Court.
All the craziness he put Anita Hill through. That's
Right,
what, middle school?
Right. Y'all remember that shit? I was
No
like,
doubt.
Clarence Thomas is still on the Supreme Court till this day. I'm like,
Porn or no
He not
porn?
even-
Yeah, you know what I mean? That's
He not
what,
even at
30?
home.
shit on the coke, the pubic hair on the coke can or not.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And we talking, like I said, we talking years ago. I've been out of high school for 20-something years. So we
Thank
talking
you.
middle school, we talking almost 30 years.
Thank you, bro. That's how dangerous that is, man. That's how dangerous that is. That's the point that she made. Like, let the American people decide. How you gonna put a justice in right now during an election? It ain't like the election is next year or some shit. We got 3 weeks.
They
Stop.
scared and for somebody who's supposed to be as confident as he think he is, 45, if you were so confident, like I said, you would wait. You would hold off.
Nah, but he wanna run with that election fraud though. That's what he's trying to run with. He's trying to protect himself for that.
No, yeah, because he knows if once he get his people in there, he knows, the likelihood of him going to jail is probably slim to none.
Yeah,
So,
not even. He's trying to hijack that shit. Watch. If it's close to him, like, oh, mail-in ballots this and people didn't get to vote that. Watch, guaranteed. That's what he's setting. That's why he's setting all this up for before election and all that.
And
So
then-
he have her in place as a Republican Supreme Court. So now he's like, all right, hold up. I challenge the election results. Blah blah blah. Now he's gonna go to the Supreme Court eventually. You know what I'm saying?
and it sucks that he's going through all of that, and even last night they were talking about the rigged election and all this foolishness, and I go, how dare you talk about rigged elections and shit when you snatching up mailboxes off the corner and stuff?
Exactly.
Shit is crazy.
But have
Talking
you,
that he was talking that from Hillary, but he happened to win. That's why he talked that talk. You know what I mean? He don't know sprinkles out there and shit, but he was been talking that.
but have you guys ever heard of transitioning to the presidency if you lose? I've never heard of that topic ever in any presidential election where they have to worry about a transition period if the president loses or if you lose the election, that they have to worry about transition.
I'm telling
I
you,
ain't never heard no shit until now.
the one thing that we've
Inauguration in
learned,
January.
yeah, the one thing that we've learned since 45 has been in office, we've learned a lot of stuff I've never heard of. Like you said, the whole transition thing. I knew about the transition. I didn't know that you could fight it and all the craziness that 45 is talking about. But there's one thing that I did learn listening to Dr. Avis Jones DeWeaver talk, and she was saying that I think I'm gonna have to look it up or listen to it again, but by January 21st, he has to be out the White House.
Yeah.
Even if he's fighting it, he still has to be out. He can fight it still, but he can no longer be in the White House. Whoever won should be in place in the White House at that time.
That's why I say he's gonna be kicking and screaming all the way till he gets on a goddamn helicopter.
Yep. Probably not even. He probably gonna be like, nah, I ain't giving you. He's supposed to like give him certain things like national security,
Code.
whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah.
It's gonna be
At
like
the
a
time,
bad.
you know what I'm saying?
It's gonna be like a bad breakup. They're gonna have to change the locks and everything.
Kick him out like Victor Tennis put his shit out on the White House
You
lawn.
know what I mean? But that's what it's gonna come down to, because he, you know, like I said, like Lo said, there's a lot of stuff that we've never heard of. But then, like I said, we've never had somebody steal an election and, you know, play house in the White House for 4 years.
Yeah. Stand by and stand back. Stand by and stand back.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, that's what it all is, man.
That's gonna be wild too,
because
that's gonna be wild too, because you're gonna look at every white person and be like, okay, all right, motherfucker, what you about to do?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I'm real talk. I'm gonna be looking over my shoulder and be like, okay, wait a minute.
I just hope that they, you know, I just hope that, and it's all a hope or pray that they, you know, that common sense takes over. And I know that's asking for a lot, because common sense is far and few between in this country on all sides. But it's just, I hope common sense takes over, and it don't, you know, and it doesn't turn into any stupidness where you out. I gotta watch my back, or, you know, I just hope none of that nonsense takes place. But I know there's a high probability that it would and it could.
I'm gonna have me a nice little thing of mace in my pocket or something.
Man, you better get you a nice stick of Billy Club, or get you a little piece if you can, something, because this, you know, that's the biggest fear. And I'm like, I don't want to live in this country in fear of, you know, my neighbor, or, you know, I go to the grocery store, I got to worry about, you know, when I come out, who's going to be out there in the parking lot. Because like I said, just us as black people, that's a foolishness that, you know, that we'll have to worry about, is that, like I said, then you got to deal with the crime of, you got to watch out for this person, you got to watch out for that person. So that'll put us on edge again, because now you got to worry about the bad police. You got to worry about, you know, the person that look like you, that feel they don't have nothing to lose, or they just got to eat, they got to do whatever they got to do. And now you got to worry about this idiot that Trump ain't even thinking about, thinking that he holding up for Trump's cause.
I have a question for you guys. The age thing in regards to both Trump and Biden. Trump is 73.
Somewhere.
Something like that.
And Biden is what?
70.
78, 77, 78.
77?
That's crazy.
Biden 77?
77, 78 or something like that.
I'm gonna look at it right now. They both
My
old.
thought is like, are they gonna make it another 4?
Word. That's a good question.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a good question.
I don't know.
That's old, bro.
That's a good question.
But the crazy thing is,
Trump
he's
out obese.
Yeah, he said Biden's 77.
Damn.
If he's president, he's gonna go to 81.
And that's a crazy thing for all the foolishness we heard when Bernie was in the last time, and this time Bernie's too old. How the hell is he too old when you got two dudes in their 70s, mid to late 70s? You know, I'm like, I don't get it. I don't get it.
Oh, yeah, Bernie like 80 something, I think, though, something like that. But still, I mean, it's close enough. He's not that much older than them. Yeah, he's not that much older than them, though. Not at all.
And I'm like, he's still with it.
Well, he just looked old.
Think about it. In
old.
4 years, Biden become president. In 4 years, he'll be 81. And then you got to think, will he make it to 81? I hope he does. Kamala, just right for, you know what I'm saying? Kamala ready to go. She's in pocket.
They look at it, wasn't Jimmy Carter holding on, and how old is Jimmy Carter? Jimmy Carter.
Oh, yeah, he like 90 something. Yeah.
Yeah, so you just hope that, like I said, Biden, you know, makes it to 4 years, and good health and everything else. And when his 4 years are up, if Kamala is ready, or they got somebody else in the wing that makes more sense, Democrat or Republican, just somebody that makes sense, just have them ready to go.
I think Kamala would be a great president. I really do. I think she would be good. I think she would. It would turn the country around.
I would say after what this country has been through, dealing with 45 and his crazy band of misfits, why not give, try something new.
And
they voted a celebrity in. Why not vote somebody that actually has knowledge of what the job entails?
And the fact it won't be the first time that a vice president ran this country, a la Cheney.
Hey, you can't be no worse than when what's his name, Dan Quayle, Mr. Spell a Potato with an E, ran. When he was running for president.
Yeah, for real. I ain't gonna never forget that shit. Let him off the hook for that. Hell nah.
He earned every bit of the roasting he got. He earned that. You had a debate, and you running for president, and you can't spell potato.
Is he still alive?
Dan Quayle?
Yeah.
No.
Let me look him up.
He kind of faded into the atmosphere. Like I've never heard from him. Ever since then.
Yeah, I never. I don't remember him at the funeral, at George Bush funeral. I don't remember him.
Yeah,
nobody cared.
Nobody cared. Just as old as Big Bush.
Well, I remember him at Big Bush funeral.
Yeah, I think he's still alive. I don't see nothing, no obituary or anything online, but yeah.
That's nuts, man. I don't know. Well, I know we need 45 up out of here.
Big time.
Yeah,
big time.
Guys, I really think there's no way that Trump can win. I really don't. I mean,
is
he down now?
Huh?
Aren't they saying he's down in the polls now?
Yeah, he's down.
Yeah, that's what they say.
I think his numbers are I think he's at like 30-some%, maybe 40-some%.
It doesn't matter.
They look it up.
Nah, that's great.
I hate even typing his
I think he's down.
Phone.
He's down. They're up 10%.
10%. All right. Thank you, Miss Vice President.
All right, Ms. Vice President. Mrs. Vice President, please.
Me and Kawana have made a decision that
Mrs. Vice President, please. The time is up.
Kind of way that the only way we were allowed to talk was about a woman
I'm about to
issue.
cut your mic off.
Well, we can't talk about a women's issue.
So that's the only thing we can talk on?
Yes, that's you the guest speaker for today. That's it.
You're the guest speaker. So when I do the video, when I edit the video and I post it and everything, I'm gonna put feature in.
Now, I don't want my debut like that. Thank you.
Y'all made cameo appearances.
And I smell that weed.
Right? They act like it's legal in Gwinnett County.
Smoking that loud. I'm sorry, we recorded.
All right, fellas and Madam Vice President.
Right, Ms. Vice President, I interrupted.
We've been on here for 2 hours, so
Hey, C.
Hey, what's going on, Mel?
I'm gonna go ahead and.
Elaine, how's Elaine?
This is not that time. Call his phone.
Huh?
We're recording and you asking how to.
Right. Now you gotta edit all that out.
Now, I'm gonna leave it in just so people will see how real it is.
How ignorant people are on our.
I'm asking how my sister-in-law is doing.
Okay, you know what, guys?
That's why Los don't let his wife on no more.
See?
She went to bed.
Nothing.
But she went to bed. See, Los know.
Los know when they come on.
But I'm gonna end this one here, fellas. The conversation was fun. We'll definitely be back on next week. Might end up doing 2, maybe 3 shows next week. We'll see. because I have the one on Tuesday that's gonna be like 10 in the morning, and then we jump on. I might have us and then another one-on-one interview sometime next week too. So
Oh, okay.
we'll see. Yeah, we got some more stuff planned. I mean, we got more jokes coming up. Because when's the next? Oh no, I forgot. 45 threw a temper tantrum because they wanted to do the next debate via Zoom or whatever.
He gonna try.
He ain't gonna do it.
Nah, he gonna interrupt on Zoom.
I was about to say, could you imagine two 70-something-year-olds trying to have a debate over Zoom?
It's not gonna work out.
With millions of people trying to tune in, the whole damn system will crash.
It's not gonna work out.
Not at all.
Hey, Ringo, hey, you need to get with T and get ready to pick that restaurant because your boy about to win another chip, and I gotta take y'all out to dinner. Try to pick the one-star restaurant.
One star.
One star.
I appreciate it.
We gonna go to Eddie Leonard's. Go to Eddie Leonard's.
I'll take that. I'll buy y'all that. That's good.
Get a half and half.
In here.
All right, fellas. But yeah, it's been real. I appreciate y'all jumping on with me tonight. Y'all stay safe, and I'll definitely talk to y'all sometime throughout the rest of this week, and see y'all again next week on here.
No doubt, definitely.
All right,
Take
family.
care, fellas. Stay safe.
Yeah, y'all stay safe. Be
All right,
easy out there,
too.
y'all.
Yeah, no doubt. You too.
All right.
All right.
Later.